Hey guys, it's that time of the week again. Time for another Gruvia podcast. This is Crystal. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Oh, okay. I'm Marie, Dark Hope Riri.
And this is Maria, Squisherific.
And we are actually going to take this week to answer your guys' questions because we didn't answer any questions last week and we kind of felt bad about that. And they've been building up.
Awesome things happened in the manga, so we couldn't.
Yeah, we were a little bit preoccupied.
We apologize about that. But, so we have some questions that we decided that we're going to go through and try and answer everything that's been asked. I think I'm going to start with one from mine, from WolfCry17. And she was asking, what do we suspect or desire to see in Juvia's magazine now that we've had the reunion?
Would you like to go first?
I don't even know, honestly, if there's going to be any talk of the reunion in the magazine, because they already said that the magazine is coming out. They must have planned it already. I'm sure it's already been written. But I personally, I just think it would be hilarious if they really stuck to Juvia's character and just made every page had a Gray-sama on it somewhere.
That's so funny.
I would just die. Like, that would be the coolest, most hilarious thing ever.
Yeah, well, considering her ad already says, like, more pure love already on it, and, like, there's a mention of love on her ad, I expect there's gonna be, like, a lot of Gruvia in it, or implied Gruvia. In the love section, obviously, all Gray-sama. Her relationship chart, a huge thing with Gray-sama. It'd be awesome, like, how we expected, like, Juvia's imagination to come up with all these love rivals and stuff. Like, if that was put in her magazine, that'd be hilarious, too. I would love, actually, for there to be a page about Gray and Juvia. Like, their development and stuff. Like, how Gray's had him and Leon and stuff. I think that'd be good if there was, like, a whole page dedicated to Gray and Juvia's relationship. Because there is a lot to say. And that's basically Juvia's character at the moment. Because, like I said in the past, Juvia's character revolves around Gray right now. Because that's the one goal that hasn't been met yet. And everything else has. So, I think... It's really mostly going to be about Gray. I do expect the Gruvion to be brought back, Leon liking her. Maybe it'd be interesting if Bora was actually mentioned, too. I'm kind of curious about that. But yeah, I do expect a lot of Gray in there.
I want some bro TP, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gajeel will definitely be in her relationship arc.
For me, actually, I'd just be happy if they had all the features that the other characters had, because they left out a relationship chart for Laxus, and I don't think they'll do this for Juvia, but Tumblr user Saskia, she had actually pointed out to me that Juvia's magazine is 8 pages less than Laxus's is.
Really?
Yeah, and that's why I'm a little worried, but I feel like because Juvia has so many relationships, she has so many bro TPs, she is so involved in the love aspect, it doesn't make sense for her to not have a relationship chart.
It could be like a love magazine, like how she's in the month of February.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like you said, that she was purposely held off till February because of Valentine's and because of how her character is so about love. So yeah, I personally just hope they don't leave out anything, and also I would like that, like Marie said, if they did like a love rival diagram thing, it would be really funny from her point of view. Or
if she was
also
talking about other people's relationships too, because we see
because she's a huge shipper, which would be fun. But also I'd like her to. I kind of like, you know what? Because Mashima mentioned in that rejection chapter, Juvia version 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. What if they did a little feature on all the different Juvias?
Oh,
that would be cute.
That'd be cool. She is the love make me.
Yes,
as Mashima says.
I mean, I just hope. Basically, I don't mind what extra things they put or don't put, just so long as they keep the basics. Because of that shortened volume, it makes me a little afraid.
You know what? A lot of pages, though, and like the others, weren't really related to the character.
Exactly. That's what I told her. I said, it might be extra stuff that's not part of.
Like in Laxus, they had like the covers for the magazine. Like they're not gonna have that in Gruvia
Yeah, they said that they're even putting like a happy one-shot in there. There's gonna be a one-shot of happy. So I feel like they're getting rid of some features like interviews or other things, and they're trying to fill it out with Happy's one-shot, but they couldn't fill it out that much, so maybe that's why there's 8 pages missing. I don't know. I just hope none of those missing pages has to do with Juvia. That's all.
Yeah. I think they'll have the normal stuff they'll have. But I don't think you're going to have the anime reel poster of her.
They're not, yeah. I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Which is fine. There's nobody beautiful enough to be Juvia anyway.
Right on. Yes.
I'm just kidding. You made a beautiful Juvia, Marie.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I let TK borrow my costume, and she made a beautiful Juvia, too.
Yeah, I remember TK.
Yeah.
Yes.
I miss her. She's never going to listen to this, but I miss you, TK. Come back to me.
Listen to us. Okay, should I do the one about how we met?
Yes.
Okay, Chanting to You asked us, she goes, thanks so much for another lovely episode. I have a personal question, and maybe it's been asked before, but how did you, Crystal, and Marie get to know each other? And my response to that is Marie's fault.
Hi. All me. All my fault. Hey, I like to meet people, okay?
There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually really funny because Marie and I met 9 years ago. 8 years ago?
Is it 9?
I think it's 9 now. 9 years ago on the Naruto fan forums, and actually,
Naruto fan.
Actually, I think you were on Simply Love too, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
So we actually met on Simply Love.
Yeah, I was on the Satsusaku fan forum Simply Love because I have been a Satsusaku fan for maybe 8 years. You know, it was my first ever Naruto pairing, so I may like Naruhina better, but back in the day, I did prefer Satsusaku. So people who accused me of side shipping Satsusaku for Naruhina, no. Anyway.
I don't even know what side shipping is. What is that? Is that bad? I don't get it.
It's just saying the only reason you ship it is because it supports your other pairing.
Yeah, no. I've supported both these pairings, like, separately, on separate occasions. No.
That's stupid.
So we met there, and we had exchanged phone numbers, and we used to call each other, and then I kind of dropped off the face of the earth.
She did.
And I was looking around through stalking the Gruvia tag when I decided I was ready to get back into fandom, like 4 or 5 years later. And I just happened to stumble across Ray B, and I clicked it. I was looking through her which is so weird because I very rarely click to see someone's actual homepage.
I feel like really special right now.
And I saw Dark Hope, and I was like, wait a minute. Is this the same one? So I messaged her, and she's like, oh my god, I do remember you, and I still have your phone number.
I did, I still have it.
And so we called each other.
You're so special, I never deleted you.
Well, see, I switched phones so many times. I lost numbers, but anyway, so then we started talking again, and then we were Skyping, and she just randomly added Maria in, and it was a video Skype, and the first thing Maria said was, I know you! Where do I know you from?
Yeah, because I had seen Crystal's video that she had done when 366 was released, and she was talking on YouTube and fangirling over it, and I'm like, right on, yes, this is a very good video. Because I agree completely, and people don't review just moments; they review the chapters as a whole. So I was like, "Ooh, Gruvia fan, yay!" So yeah, I recognized.
I remember I watched that video too, but I had no idea it was her. When I saw it, I had no clue. I was like, "Wait, that was her?"
Yeah, it
and then I was like, "Oh yeah, it does look like you."
And I didn't even realize anybody saw it, let alone you guys. That's so funny. But yeah, that was how we all kind of started talking to each other.
And then I was with Maria. I met Maria in person.
Yes.
And
we were like talking. How many essays did we throw at each other on Manga Fox for like?
Oh my god! Me and Maria, we used to talk on Manga Fox forums, but you had a different name.
Yeah. I was Ramble Maria on there.
Yeah, and I was still Darko, but we would talk all the time in the Gruvia thread, and we made it really active. Yeah. People miss us there, apparently.
Well, then they shouldn't, be like biatches there.
Yeah, that. So yeah, that's when me and Maria really started talking from Manga Fox forums, and then obviously on that Tumblr tag. And I remember I messaged you, Maria. I was like, "Do you have like a Skype or something? Like talk?" But then we did meet in person, and when we met in person, obviously Gruvia fangirling in real life. But I was talking to Crystal through text messages when I was with Maria, and I gave you each other's numbers. I think, didn't I? I gave you.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so it's my fault.
Your fault.
She's the central, the catalyst.
Yeah.
She's there. If it wasn't for her, this wouldn't be happening right now.
That's right.
Oh, guys, stop it.
It's true, though.
It is true. It's very
No,
true.
if it wasn't for Naruto forums, this wouldn't have happened.
All those years ago.
Yeah. All right. So, well, speaking of that, I have a question. I got a question also from Naneko Mimi, and she says, "I'm sorry. This was 23 days ago that she sent this. I'm so sorry we couldn't answer it until now, but she says." Hi, I would just like to say the work you three have done for the Gruvia fandom is simply amazing. This is for the Gruvia podcast. Can you guys discuss more about the parallelism Gray and Juvia have with pairings from other animes like Tomoya and Nagisa, Clannad, Naruto and Hinata, Naruto, Musica and Reina, Rave Master? It would be very much appreciated if you'd answer. So, guys, give me 1 second. You guys can answer it first because, hang on 1 second.
Well, Clannad with Tomoya and Nagisa, it's not that there are parallels, it's just that the voice actors are connected. There's a parallel because the voice actors are the voice actors for Tomoya and Nagisa are the same voice actors for Gray and Juvia. I mean, Mashima has lately kind of tried to parallel something just because he's adding little homages, like when he did that homage with Frosh, who plays their daughter, Ushio, the voice actress, does Frosh, does Ushio in Clannad. So, I mean, there are fun little parallels in that way. But I think Mashima likes those parallels. I think he finds it very amusing that a very, for the most part, serious couple like Tomoya and Nagisa are his very silly Gray and Juvia pairing in a lot of ways. I mean, they're obviously really angsty too, but I'm just saying, I think that Mashima just likes the voice actor relationship that's going on there. But for Reina and Musica, the parallels are more what Mashima is, again, playing homage to his own series by giving Juvia and Gray all these romantic moments that Reina and Musica shared, like the Silver Bond was a huge thing in Rave Master between them. It was very romantic, and he gave that to Gray and Juvia with the Unison Raid. But he also did where he was showing faith, because Musica was showing faith in their bond, in how compatible they were, and Gray did the same thing, and also the direct sacrifice, because, spoiler, Reina sacrifices herself for Musica, and the horrified expression on his face is pretty much the same thing that's on Juvia's face when Gray does it for her. And there were other small things, like just similarities in how he sets up like panels, like you can see similar things with he's even kind of paralleling Nagisa's role with Musica in a way sometimes too, but they never really followed through with that. When Lucy hugged her and Juvia was crying, asking to see Gray again, he didn't follow up on that, but that was really similar. So yeah, I think Mashima definitely parallels a lot of the or more so not parallels, but just plays homage, because Musica is a lot like Gray, but Reina is not like Juvia. Juvia is her own character. The person that she matches the most with in Rave is probably Celia, who was the unrequited love mermaid girl. She had a thing for Haru. So that's to me, that's the person she's closest to. And in terms of looks, she's closest to Nagisa, right? And in terms of relationship to Gray, she's closest to Reina, but not personality-wise at all. So yeah, and to me, he's more playing homage to Clannad and to Musica and Reina and Rave than that he is paralleling anything necessarily. Although I do think he's paralleling the fact that Musica lost the person he loved, and he's trying to make sure that Gray gets the happy ending that Musica didn't. And that's why Musica said to him in the OVA that they did, that's a cute girl you got there. Make sure you take care of her, that you cherish her, because he can't. So yeah, that I think he's paralleling that in a way, but it's going to turn out a happier ending than what Musica got. So.
I pretty much agree with that. I don't think parallels prove anything, obviously, but I think that if anything, the parallel between Rave Master and Fairy Tail makes more sense than anything else because it's by the same person.
Yeah.
Granted, it is a different series. I think I remember him saying that Fairy Tail would be a happier version than Rave. And that, I mean, it's not going to be the exact same thing because if it's the exact same thing, then you might as well just read Rave Master. Like, why even have Fairy Tail if it's going to be the same thing? So, I mean, there are other parallels between Rave Master and Fairy Tail that don't have to do with pairings. Like the whole village that was frozen.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, like that was in Rave Master. I think it was someone's town that was frozen, though.
Didn't you even say, what do you call it, that the recent 416 moment that,
Oh, yeah, well, with the whole father thing, when, spoiler, in Rave Master, when Haru lost his dad, and he was sitting there alone at the end of the arc, staring off into the distance, and Ellie came up, and, she was with him, and I don't even think she really said anything. She sat down, and then I think it's okay. I can't really remember what she said. And then Haru just started bawling and crying and saying, I want my dad. And he's crying into her chest, and she's holding him. They're holding each other, and I'm like, I'm wondering if Gruvia will get that, even though it's a Haru and Ellie, that parallels to Nalu, but Gruvia was given that moment instead.
Yeah.
Because Gray was obviously more beat up about the dad thing than Natsu was.
I think it also has to do with Gray was supposed to be the next Rave Master.
He was, yeah, I read that too. In Rave Master, but then he decided to not put Gray in there, and so Gray ended up in Fairy Tail. So, but yeah, I agree with you, Maria, that Musica and Reina are pretty much, Gray and Juvia were pretty much given all the romance that Musica and Reina had. Meanwhile, the sacrifice and everything was given to Ultir.
Yeah, but Gray did sacrifice himself for Juvia.
He did. No, he
that
did.
Was
I'm saying
sacrifice.
Yeah, I'm saying that in Rave Master, you see Musica picturing Reina, and then he has a crying face. Meanwhile, he had the same thing with Ultir. He pictures Ultir, and he's crying because of the sacrifice. But there's a difference. Musica had romantic feelings for Reina. Gray obviously didn't have for Ultir, and thanks Reina, Gray thanks Juvia. That's the thing. Gray thanks Juvia for making him smile, right, and making him realize. So that's what I'm saying. Mashima gave Gray and Juvia the romance instead, without sacrificing Juvia.
Yeah, he was very careful. Exactly, he was very careful to keep anything romantic out of the.
And of course, the whole holding hands thing and their combined attack. Yeah. They both got that, of course. I mean. And the fact that Juvia, in the 413 days, this is just like physical appearance. Juvia was wearing that like gold snake-like thing on her arm, and Reina has that on her arm too. But I think it's that might be silver though, and I just like that silver. Silver bonds. That's right. But yeah, that's pretty much that. And as for other pairings that Gruvia parallels to, I think Gray and Juvia is very they're in their own level, like their own, how to say it, like they can't really directly compare to any couple. They that's the word. They share similarities to a lot of pairings. Like I said, these parallels and similarities don't mean jack shit. They're just, for fun, they're there. When it comes to Naruto, like for Naruto and Hinata, for example, a canon pairing that I called in 2006, by the way, people, Okay. Naruto and Hinata. Well, we have Hinata here that always loved Naruto ever since she was little, because he was her inspiration. His smile saved her. It made her want to do her best. Same with Juvia. Gray's a motivation for her, just like Hinata is a Naruto is a motivation for Hinata. Naruto's never had love in his life. Gray has lost everybody in his life. I mean, similar in that, the girl loves the guy, inspiration, yada yada. And I love my scarf pairings. Sorry, but that was just like the nail in the coffin for me. I was like, oh my god, my heart. Like the scarf, just the scarf, guys. That's the major parallel between Naruto and Gruvia at the moment. Just like the scarf, but
well, I think along with the Naruto pairings, you have to take a look at Sazusaka too, because
yeah, no, I want you to explain that one.
Because Gray. Everyone that Gray ever cared about died, and you could say the same thing for Sasuke. Everybody died. They're both very soon. Don't like to admit that they care about things, want to take care of things on their own. They don't like asking for help. And the only difference, obviously the major difference between them is that whereas Sasuke kind of pushed people away in order to push them away and decided to shoulder everything on his own when he realized that his revenge wasn't going to get him anywhere, which also Gray has a revenge problem with Deloria, so same thing. He kept trying to push people away all the way until the end, but Gray doesn't do that. Gray still has this understanding that he needs people. So, and then Sakura, obviously, is the person who, she loved Sasuke through one of the coldest, most terrible, most difficult things ever. Like, how do you, but it's sincere, and it's a love that it just doesn't go anywhere. Like she said, it's not that easy to change how you feel about somebody when you really care about them. And that's kind of the same thing with Juvia. It's a sincere love. She cares so much to the point that when she defeated Keith, she went up to Gray to not only to tell him that, but pretty much to say goodbye, because she was like, I don't deserve this anymore, but I care about him enough that he needs to know. That's a very similar to kind of the way that Sakura is. It's like she can tell Sasuke when he needs to hear something, but she always wants to be there by his side at the same time, and she can admit when she's at a fault. So when she's like, there was always never anything that I could do, and I know that, but still, I don't know. I don't know. I could go on, but
yeah, I mean, and also of course that very nice thank you.
Yes, the thank you and the forehead poke compared to the hug and
yeah.
The thank yous. The thank yous mean I love you.
Pretty much. Well, it depends on the context. For people like Gray and Sasuke, they do.
Well, it's the type of character they are. That's not a word they say.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true. I'm sorry.
They show it
Sasuke,
instead.
Sasuke apologizes to Sakura also.
Yeah, he does. He apologized to Sakura. He didn't apologize to Naruto.
Nope.
He just called him an Usura Tonkachi.
I loved it.
And yeah, but
no,
I mean,
sorry, Crystal, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. But when you really get down to it, too, the other person is Sasuke is also very Gray-like in the sense of he's always there when Sakura needs him. He does. He protects her when he's there. So, because there's always that area where he could have the chance that he's not there. And he tries his best, but he fails a lot, whereas Gray doesn't fail.
Well, I mean, also, this is similar to what I said in other podcasts, but how Mashima has kept Juvia's feelings strong for this entire manga. There'd be no point in keeping her feelings so strong if they weren't going to be reciprocated in the end. Why keep her in an unrequited love for the entire series and in the end, too, when everyone's supposed to have a happy ending and Juvia doesn't have one? That's not fair.
I agree.
So, and the thing is, Kishimoto did the same thing. He kept Sakura and Hinata's feelings so strong in the entire manga, until chapter 700, when they finally were confirmed canon, officially canon in 700. I mean, obviously before that they were implied canon pretty much, but officially canon in 700 with kids, married, and I always said, like, there's no point in keeping Sakura and Hinata loving these guys the entire series if they're just gonna be unrequited. Like, no, there's no point. And obviously, yeah, it worked out. So that's what I'm saying. With Juvia is the same thing. There's no way Mashima would make her suffer, you know? So her feelings are gonna be requited, especially because we've seen Gray's side. We're seeing Gray's side. He's showing signs of reciprocation.
He's showing huge signs of reciprocation.
Yeah, but I said it was an understatement. But, you know.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I agree.
And, you know, I just remembered another pairing, too, with a thank you that meant a lot, too, in Rurouni Kenshin, when Kenshin left.
Yes.
When Kenshin left, and Kaoru approached him, when he told her goodbye, the same thing was it was a thank you and a hug. So, I mean, and they ended up getting together. There was never an I love you or an I don't love you, you know what I mean, thing with them, but there was a thank you, and the thank you was, you know, the thing that drove Kaoru to go follow him to Kyoto. So, I mean, thank you is a huge thing. When used in the proper context, in an individual scene, where two people on their own at some emotional crossroads, whether it's a leaving like it was for Sasuke and Sakura, or Kenshin and Kaoru, or even, I guess even technically Juvia, she was trying to tell him goodbye. But
yeah, he's like, nope, bitch,
no way,
you are
not leaving me. So, I mean, you know,
it's shove my face into your boobs instead.
Yes. So, I mean, that's a very powerful thing that's been used multiple times with multiple pairings. So, I mean, that's a big deal.
And also, you have to think, what kind of person is Gray? Gray's not somebody who's going to say, I love you.
He's not.
Probably. He'll show it.
He'll show it, which he did, kind of.
He did.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be crying like a baby in someone else's arms, okay?
He just, it was huge. It was huge because of what kind of character Gray is, so, yeah, it was really big. That's why we're all, like, freaking out. Are they going to be canon? Are they not going to be canon? Because it was that big. And a whole year is going by. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of parallels. They don't really mean anything, though, because every pairing is different and every series is different. So even with the parallels, all you can do is use that to draw in the context of, this is why I believe this will happen. I mean, there's always the exception, but they have a lot of parallels, and Mashima parallels a lot of stuff in his series off of other things.
Look, in this day and age, if someone gives you a scarf, it's the new ring, okay? Like, that's just how it goes in this day and age.
Seriously.
Like,
so then Igneel gave Natsu a ring?
Yes! Sure, why not? Let's go with the bestiality, why not? Incest bestiality, that's fine.
This conversation has taken a weird turn.
If you like it, then you should have put a scarf on it.
There you go.
That's so funny!
Alright, so what other questions do we have?
I have one, and I know what your answer is going to be already, Marie, but Green Tea Cake asked, what are some of our top favorite fanfics, and what alternate universes do we like to imagine Gruvia in? So, I'm writing an AU right now, a pirate AU for Gruvia, and I think that honestly is probably the only AU that I could probably be okay with, and that's only because it's a play off of their elements.
I have exactly the same answer, because I don't care for AUs, but I love Crystal Seas of Change. So I mean, it just makes sense, because pirates, sea, and just how you incorporate Gray's Ice into the whole story as well. It just fits them, and you keep them in character. That's the other problem with AUs. It's really hard to keep them in character, because people constantly, you throw them into another universe, and they're going to change to some degree, because you're putting them in a school, you're putting them in a I don't know, like another fantasy element, and it just you're gonna have to change things up to some extent because you're switching so many things around. Their personalities kind of pay the price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm not a huge fan of AUs, and I don't read that much fan fiction either, which I'm sad to say because I love writing it, but I used to read a lot of fan fiction, but that was before I got into fairy tale.
Yeah, I used to read a lot of fan fiction too, and there's not much fan fiction that I've actually read, honestly. Every once in a while I'll start jumping in and read some, but I always end up, I don't know, like, is that a bad thing? Maybe it's our age.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe it's our age. We're so used
to fanfiction, but AUs, I'm sorry, like, I strongly dislike them because it's just a personal preference. Like, I don't like the characters to be in an alternate setting. I like them they're in fairy tale. I like them in a canon setting. I like them, like, as mages. I especially dislike those that are, like, in the, like, a Harry Potter verse, or Pirates of the Caribbean, or some movie setting, and I'm just like, I don't care for this. Like, I can't read it. I can't bring myself to read it.
The best for me is if you are going to do an AU, is if you incorporate everything about the existing universe and just change different things. So, like, they live in Magnolia, and these people are here, and they have these tasks, or maybe they're not, like, you know what I mean? Like, if they're not mages, but they have something about them that is reflective of who they actually are in canon, like being...
I dislike High School Universe. I'm just
For me, personally, I think a big reason why I don't like AU and why I try... It's also partly why I write the things that I write is because I like to, when I'm reading something and when I'm writing something, I like to be able to imagine that this could actually happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, and in an AU, it's never going to happen. So,
yeah.
That's why.
The only time that I'd be partially okay with an AU is if it has smut. So I could just, just skip over everything else, just read the smut. Why not? Actually, Can You Dig It, Mother Liquor, Ariana, I love you, by the way. She writes really good AUs. Like, I have not read all of them, Ariana, but I've read some of them. She wrote this really funny one about a pizza delivery. Gray was like a pizza delivery guy, but it was really funny. Like, she keeps them all in character. That's the thing. Like, you need to have an author that does a really good job of keeping them in character if you're writing AUs.
And you have to pick AUs that fit too. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, here's a good example. So, with the new opening for Fairy Tale has Natsu in, like, that suit with the sunglasses, and then Lucy. That reminds me of the Mafia. And as soon as I saw it, that was what I thought of. And I was like, you know what? Natsu would make a good mobster. And, like, and I was thinking about it. I was like, that could make a really good story. I would never, I don't have the time or the brain power to write it, but that would make a good one, because it's another affiliation. It's a group of people, like a guild.
Yes.
So, you know what I mean? Like, it has to fit. And I probably would have never thought about that if it wasn't for the opening, but that was the first thing that popped in my head. I was like, huh.
Well, I mean, if we're done with this question, I actually have one that's pretty much in the same vein, so we might as well answer that next.
Okay.
It's by Silas Jinx, and she goes, "Hi, I love the podcast. Listening to your podcast and would like to ask a question. I would just like to know, what are your do's and don'ts in Gruvia fan fiction? I know you guys touched on the topic a bit, but I'd like to hear more. Thanks and keep up the amazing work." So, do's and don'ts. My do's are, please keep them in character, and my don'ts are, please do not have them out of character. that is like my major do's and don'ts. Yeah. I do not like reading things and seeing, because it takes me out of it completely. Like, if I'm like, he would never say that. Gray would never act like that. Even fan art, mind you, I have this don't. Because when I see Gray acting a little un-Gray, like too cutesy or something, too romantic in some way, I'm like, no, he wouldn't, no, why? So, yeah, no matter how good the fan art looks, if Gray's out of character, I don't. And it's the same thing for for a fanfic, I'm very much about keeping them in character. I don't like when you stray and change things to some extent that you're just like, they're not themselves anymore.
Don't make Gruvia so submissive. I don't like the super submissive
Yeah.
Gruvia. I think people are afraid to work with her character, and they focus too much on certain aspects of her character that they forget that she does have a very strong, I wouldn't say opinions on things, but she does have the ability to tell Gray that he's not right.
Yeah, she has done so.
She's
too.
done
Yeah,
it, so like you can't be afraid to use that, because otherwise that you're not really playing the. That's not what makes them the pairing that they are. And on the same note, Gray isn't always just gonna shoot Gruvia down either.
Yeah, don't make him an asshole all the time.
That's right.
Like the way he speaks to her sometimes in fanfics, he's so harsh on her. Like, I'll never love you, blah blah blah. Like, he would never say that. He would never be that harsh on her.
You wouldn't, because even in the rejection, he didn't say anything
Nope.
that.
Now, speaking of that rejection, I love how the anime is so funny, because Gray would say, I'm going to say no to things I don't like, and she's still being the same. She's clinging on to him in the anime and stuff, and it's really funny. He's still, nothing's changed, literally.
No,
I have not
the only thing
heard the N-O out of his mouth. But she's
the only
same.
thing that's changed is he's gotten a lot softer.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah,
why
it's funny.
would
I'm
I
gonna
want
say
to do
no
that?
to
I'm
things
so
I don't
relieved you're not a constellation anymore. Thank God.
Yeah, I'm going to say no to things I don't like. Oh, well, you're not saying anything, Gray, so... Obviously, that was just Mashima being a troll.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a troll moment, but also I think, I hope Mashima does go back to it and show that why the rejection was the
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
But back to the fanfiction thing, I have a lot of don'ts, but most of my don'ts you guys covered, but I will say a major don't for me is do not write in first person. I really don't like first person. I'm sorry, first person. It's like, I don't know. I just don't like first person.
I rarely have. I've seen
it, and I don't like it. I'm just like, why are you writing in first person? Write in third person. Like, I don't want to see the word I went here, I did this. Like, no, just write Gray, write Gruvia, write their names. That's a major, don't for me. I'm turned off by that. And another thing is, do not name their kid or Ultir. Don't do it. That's insane.
Oh yeah, that's a don't for me too. I think it's way overused.
Yeah, don't do that. And I'm sorry, Maria, do not make Gruvia melt into a puddle. Do not.
I've been there once, and I don't regret it.
Well, don't do it again.
Well, I'm not gonna do it again. Yeah, I'm not gonna repeat.
Do not make Gruvia stutter. Do not make her melt into a puddle.
I don't even know why people would make her stutter. She's never stuttered, really.
They just do. I don't know. I don't know. Just write good.
Right.
I have a couple of do's since we're so big on the don'ts right now. Do keep the drama.
Yes.
Keep that tension. By drama can easily be turn the tables. Like, fan fiction is your chance to turn the tables. So, I have one that I've never posted that's just sitting here waiting to be finished, where they encounter an enemy, and afterwards nobody really realizes it, but the enemy has something that they want from Gruvia, and they told Gruvia that they would let everybody live if she left, and so she did. And so Gray had to go after her.
Yeah. And
go find her. And, use that as an opportunity. Use your fanfiction as an opportunity to explore an avenue that you don't think Mashima's going to take.
How dare you not finish and post that? What's wrong with you?
I'll send it to you so you can read it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you need to finish that.
The reason I didn't finish it is because it was so, I was stupid and included too many other characters, and it's hard for me. I guess that's another one. If you cannot handle the amount of characters that Mashima has, do not include every single character in your story, please.
Yeah.
Just focus
You're
on the
gonna
ones
get
that matter to your story. And the thing is that I was having trouble balancing the extra characters, and I was trying to figure out who the bad guy was going to actually be in the end. I had him, I don't know, because I have Laxus in this story, I have Erza, I have Natsu, I have Lucy, but Laxus was necessary. because the bad guy is a Thunder, because that's the only thing that I could think of that would frighten Juvia enough that she would do whatever she was told.
Right.
So, but yeah, so that's just me talking about my fan fiction now. Why am I doing that? Stop me now.
Self-promotion.
Self-promotion for stuff that's not out there.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, alright, is that it? Do we
I
have
have
any
two more.
Okay, how long is this podcast?
We're at 40 minutes.
Oh, not bad. Okay, we have time.
They're not that long. I don't think we're going to talk that long about the next two anyway. So Okay, so this is from Muffin Dragon 227, who's awesome, by the way. Okay, question for the podcast. Since there are a bunch of characters in Fairy Tail that ship Gruvia, I'm wondering who are your favorite Gruvia shippers are and why? That's such a fun question. So, yeah, okay. For me, actually, like, I wanted, as soon as Silver showed up and I thought that he was his Gray's dad, I'm like, oh, he's gotta ship the Gruvia. Ship that Gruvia, and he did. But he's actually, you know what? He's not my favorite, though. Silver, Papa Silver, as much as I appreciated his support, and I did, and I appreciated him calling Juvia Gray's woman, I actually, because, I mean, there's really nothing much more awesome than the parents supporting it and seeing that connection, but also, because I do think it came from the GMG and what he saw of them there, but my favorite is actually Erza because of the relationship we keep seeing that she has between her and Juvia and her and Gray. I mean, obviously she knows Gray for so long. She does understand him to a point, maybe more than he'd like for her to understand him. So she gets him, and she sees him, and that's why she gives him all these knowing smirks, and that's why she addressed this problem of him not acknowledging Juvia's feelings. But I just like that she had this relationship with Juvia, that she saw how important, I mean, not how important, but how strong her love was for Gray when she fought Melody. And I feel like she then started really shipping Gruvia really hard, and especially when she saw Gray and how he is with Juvia and how he's not, like, he's trying hard not to like, he was playing oblivious, and that's why she called him out on it, but she could also see that he really did like her to some extent. And I also like that I think she sympathizes, not just sympathizes, but relates to Juvia. And because she also has Jalal, and she was also rejected in a way, and they're both dealing with guys who are not so honest. So I think I just like her relationship with them, and I like how hard she ships them, and she tries to, like, encourage them and encourage Juvia, and especially in the 413 days thing, like, I loved that Bro TP in that moment between them, and then her seeing Gray at the end and smiling while he was smiling and having the scarf around his neck. So to me, she's really, like, the most, I guess, aggressive Gruvia shipper in the series, and I really appreciate that. So, because I feel like she really did push Gruvia along in a big way because of her finally like outing Gray to him, like saying, you know, what do you mean you don't know what they were talking about? I know what they were talking about. I wasn't even there when she was talking about Leon and Juvia. So yeah, I feel like she's helping them. That 413 moment wouldn't have happened if she hadn't encouraged Juvia to do something for Gray. So, yeah, I like Erza. Erza's my favorite Gruvia shipper, but Silver is very close behind because Papa Silver's approval is huge. So, yeah, that's my answer.
I like that answer. That's pretty much how I feel too, although I think Silver is my favorite one just because the way he addressed it was really funny. Like, he just said, hey, little girl, like, he just, like, all of a sudden, just, like, randomly, she's like, what? Like, who is this? Like, are you Gray's woman? She just, like, steams. Like, what? It was just the way it was introduced was really funny.
Yeah.
And I think Silver, by far, is definitely the most important Gruvia shipper because he's Gray's father.
Yep.
And the entire battle between Gray and Silver is just so emotional. And for some reason, he assumes Juvia is Gray's woman. Huh, well, I guess she just gives off that vibe. Of course.
Yeah, I don't actually have an opinion on
Juvia,
this.
a task that Gray himself could not do. And he's also entrusting his son to Juvia and telling her that she must defeat Keith, which would also terminate himself for Gray's sake. And I just feel like authors don't tend to do that for characters that are only friends. And it's interesting how Juvia will call Silver father, which is, she's referring to him as her own dad or father-in-law. And Silver saw the strong bond between Gray and Juvia. He saw it. He sensed it. He knew. And I think that's just really important. And Juvia is the only one that knew what happened between Gray and Silver. No one else knows. Gray never, and he's not gonna tell anyone else. He probably wouldn't have even told Juvia, but she's just so connected to Gray that she knew everything. So that's why, I really like Silver. He entrusted his son to Juvia, and obviously that furthers Gruvia, so that was the Silver thing was something that really benefited Juvia and Gray as characters and as a pairing. But I also really like Erza. Hell, I like all the shippers. I mean, Alzak and Biska.
They were the first, I think.
Yeah, they were. Our only major canon pairing wanted to be like Gray and Juvia. They shipped Gruvia.
But there are tons of Gruvia shippers.
Oh yeah, I wrote a whole post on that.
That's right.
Alzak and Biska, Lucy, Erza, Loki with his smirk, Merity, Mirror Jane, yeah, Lisana. She's like Elfman. I mean, look at the atmosphere, Elfman. The Gruvia bread. Ultir, kind of, when she says Juvia is close to Gray. I mean, I'm sorry. Merity says that. And then Ultir wanted to kill Juvia so Gray wouldn't have a future. Leon and Shelia.
Oh yeah, Shelia ships it hard.
Shelia ships Gray and Juvia. I think we've got everyone. So,
Who's your favorite?
I don't actually have an opinion on this. Believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I think.
Can we add Makarov in there too, since he sent them on a mission alone together?
That works. It's not that I don't like that people ship them. It's just that that's like not the thing I pay attention to. So I've never really.
I think Mashima uses them more just to show, because Gray is so private that we haven't been getting things from him for a long time until recently. He was mostly using all these shippers as a way to show what Gray's feelings or how he was coming off to other people. Even though he wasn't saying things directly, he was coming off romantic. Like Leon saying that he was acting lovey-dovey with Juvia. Erza's knowing looks, Loki's knowing looks, I mean...
Iska saying they're acting lovey-dovey, or I think in the English translation it's get a room.
Yeah, exactly. They wanted to be like Gray and Juvia. They felt like they were being more open and more honest than they were. So that's why they wanted to be like them, so...
Well, you know what, let me just say... Oh, sorry, Chris, you want to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say, do you guys think that we can include Leon on that list of shippers now that he gave up on Juvia? And then also was the one who came in and told her not to be upset with Gray because it was a bad day for him?
Oh, yeah.
Well, he sensed their bond.
I think it was at that point where he realized that Gray was eventually going to return her feelings. I feel like before, the only reason he kept trying, because obviously Juvia wasn't ever, she was so in love with Gray, so he knew that, but he kept trying because he felt Gray wasn't interested, so he had a shot at this. But then when he saw how they were during the Unison raid and how Gray was acting with her, he's like, this is gonna happen at some point. So...
Yeah, and that's why he said it was best to back off, or whatever.
And also, Juvia didn't give up even when he did reject her, so he probably...
Yeah, that's why we shouldn't have given up either.
Right.
Oh, by the way, in those the mysteries of fairy tale or whatever with Mira Jane and Lucy, those actually foreshadow, because I have volume 46, and it asks, will Wendy ever get her hair back? And they were talking, Mira Jane and Lucy were talking about it. And I don't have the volume in front of me, but I remember it says, oh, I wonder if she'll get her hair back. I liked her long hair. And it said, oh, isn't there a magic that can make her hair longer? And Lucy's like, yeah, I'll get cancer on that. And look what happened. And that was in volume 46, the extra pages. And it again. So, and then, Mashima's like, I hope they do. So obviously that means, yeah, they're gonna meet again. And as for the Gruvia stuff, that's foreshadowed in those extra pages. The Gruvia bread is in there, what a grain Juvia buns taste like, or whatever, and it says a taste of love. And then, obviously, when Mira Jane had her theory who guys were peeking on, obviously she thinks Gray, and there's an arrow to Juvia.
It's definitely Mashima talking through them.
Oh, it is, but it's also the Mashima foreshadowing too.
He's hinting at things, yeah.
So, yeah, I was just pointing that out, that all the Gruvia stuff in the Mysteries of Fairy Tail is foreshadowed also. So, yeah. But when I saw the Wendy thing, I'm like, oh, wow.
The funny thing about that is he could have not grown her hair, because a lot of people complained about that. They said it was pointless then, what she did.
Well, why couldn't she just grow her hair through the time?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. That he could have just done that and people wouldn't have complained because she would have just grown it out to some extent. It didn't have to be as long as it was. I mean, it couldn't have been in a year to get that long. Yeah. But still, I don't know. I do have a question if we're done with this one. Okay, unfortunately, this is from an Anna, and they asked that it's something we've already covered because we're past that, and it's been so long. So I'm sorry, Anna, that we've passed this section and we've already dealt with this situation. It's one of the parts of the question was, and about the latest chapter, poor Lyusika is there with others, so that means Juvia is there as well, but Mashima left her out. So yeah, we've already gone past that. So sorry. But the other part of the question is, I have a question for the podcast, and you mentioned Silver before. What do you think is the reaction when he saw Gray stripped during his battle at the GMG? I think he was, first of all, he was a little overwhelmed. I kind of wanted to see his reaction because I think it would be funny because obviously he just saw his son is alive. So he was pretty freaked out and just probably very, very, a very severe emotional state. So I feel like that was one of the last things on his mind. He probably didn't pay much attention to it. But I think because I do think he stayed to watch all Gray's stuff during the GMG because we saw he was there watching Hidden, and then we saw he was there watching Gray and Rufus fighting. So he probably watched everything to do with Gray. I think after he saw Gray strip a couple of times, he was probably like, what's up with this? What is my son doing? But I think he was more interested in the fact that his son clearly has a girlfriend at this point, is what he was focused on. And
clearly has a girlfriend
at this point, and he's alive. So I don't know if he paid too much attention to the stripping, but I think if Mashima did show a reaction to it, it would be a humorous one. That's my answer.
I could also see Silver being like, I don't know why, I just see him being proud of Gray no matter what he does. So I could see him being like, yeah, you have the body to show it, so do it.
That's funny, I can see that too.
He's like, that's one way to get the ladies.
That's why that girl liked you so much.
So, I mean, to me, it could be either or. And then when it happens more than once, then I can be like, wait a minute. I think he has a problem.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on that one. I don't think he paid attention to it.
Yeah, I think he was more worried about Gray, but it's still something fun to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I don't have any other asks. Do you guys?
Nope. No, I think we're good for this one, and hopefully next week we'll have more to talk about.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because we have a time skip coming up.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the time skip with Gray and Juvia are, if we see them next week, hopefully.
Okay, so let me ask you guys this, and this is a very simple, quick question. What do you want them to look like? I want Gray to be scruffy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because I think it would look good on Gray. And you know, the picture that we saw of Juvia in the back cover is really good, of volume 47. So if she comes looking like that, I'd be happy. She looks great.
I just want her to keep her long hair.
Yeah, I like her hair the way it is, but I wouldn't mind if they put it in a ponytail, because I think it looks good like that.
Yeah, but, I mean, other characters have the ponytail, so I'm just kind of like, well,
up half down would that's true. Lucy had that for pretty much always.
Yeah.
That's true. But now she doesn't, so maybe Juvia can take it.
No, because then Lucy Juvia comparisons.
Oh, true. That's so annoying, though. I mean, come on.
I like her hair down. I mean, what do you think about her hat? Do you think you'd want to, like, change her hat, or...
No, I think he's stuck on that hat, because
Yeah.
I feel like he thinks that it suits her, because he even went back to it when he took it away.
Yeah. I just want her to keep her long hair.
Yeah. Me too. I don't want them cutting it again.
I like her wavy hair. I don't like her curled. Her
No curled or short. I like her hair now.
Fine. Although there is something about Juvia's curled hair that is so quintessential Juvia. Like, it's so Juvia.
It's because that was when she was first introduced. That's what she had.
Yeah, and even went back to it again, though, too.
And when she was little, she had the same hairstyle.
Yeah, which is cute. I like it. Yeah, but it shows that she does pretty much have naturally wavy, curly hair.
It also shows, like, she kind of grew up.
Yeah.
You know? So I like her hair the way it is. And gray, I mean, yeah, it's fine. Just get, more buff. Cool.
More buff. I just want him to have some of the silver scruff. I think he would look good scruffy.
I agree. I saw Honey TK, she had done a picture of him with a little ponytail. I think that would look nice, too.
I'm not a fan of guys in ponytails, really. So, I don't know. Gray will look good no matter what, though.
Yeah, the one, I mean, it's not gray, but the one that was floating around, the fan art one of Natsu with the longer hair, I liked that.
Oh, Zippy 44? Yeah, I love her.
I'm not gonna even think that Mashima's gonna do that, but if he did, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah, he looks good like that.
He does.
I think all the boys would look good with longer hair.
Gajil's got the long hair.
Gajil's got really long hair.
Freed's got long hair. Freed has longer hair. But, yeah. I think about Gajil has long hair. If Gray had long hair, then it would take away from Gajil having long hair.
Well, it doesn't have to be that long. It's just gonna be, like, not even shoulder length on him, you know what I mean?
It's like Surfer Boy Gray?
Yeah, kind of. But I mean, like just cool and spikier, and I don't know, like just sexy and something that you like, that Juvia would like run her hands through, and I like it. It's nice. I like the longer hair.
Somebody's got some image going through her head right now.
How dare you get out of my head?
Alrighty, guys. I think that this is going to be it for this podcast. We'll try and do another one for you guys soon. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to send us questions because we'll answer them, and hopefully we'll have some more stuff to talk to you guys about next week, okay?
Yes.
All right.
All right, guys.
Bye. Bye.